This conference will now be recorded.
So in previous session, we understood what is WSDL, Web Service Description Language. Now next, we'll see how we can expose or how we can consume this WSDL in my client side. So if you remember, I was talking, so in the server side, we'll create web service, then we'll generate WSDL file, okay, and that WSDL file will share to client, then client can generate Apex class from that, okay. So now what I'm going to do to complete our example what we're talking, so now I'm going to consume the web service what is generated in the previous session. If you see my Apex class, where in the server we have written one web service method to create new lead, and the WSDL file what we have, this is the WSDL file. So once you generate WSDL file, in which application you want to connect, in that application, once we have WSDL file, then that WSDL file will be shared to the client, okay. So once you share that WSDL file to client, like you can share it in an email, or you can share in FTP, or in any mechanism you can share it. Once your client got this WSDL file, what we can do if client is Salesforce. So now to do this, I'm going to create a new Salesforce account. So I do developer.salesforce.com. I will sign up for a client account, and I will see that service I'll consume on this client applications. To do that, I'm just quickly creating a developer account here. So let me put the same email ID. Okay. Anything I just keep here. Let me put postal code, like how we did account creation for server. Same way, I'm just going to create an account for my client. So simply I gave name as debasis@client.com. Okay, let me sign me up. So now once I get the, let me go to my Gmail. Once I get activation account email, then I'll simply activate it, and I'll see what is going to happen. Let me sign in. Okay. Okay. Anyhow, I'll have. Okay, I have already my code here. I can just put. Okay. So now I'm just going up to signing in my client account. Okay. So now I got email for the client. I just click on verify account. I will set my password, and we'll see how I am going to establish the integration between two systems. So let me set my password here. If you have already two accounts, then you no need to sign up. If you don't have, please go ahead and sign up so that you can identify what is your server and what is your client. Okay. So now my client account is ready. Now I want to consume the web service what I have here, WSDL. That WSDL I want to consume in my client side. So if you see, my client have my server have created the web service method, and my server have shared the web service WSDL file with me. So once I have WSDL file, what I do in the next step, I am going to generate Apex class from WSDL file. So we understood what is WSDL file. Now let's see how Salesforce going to generate Apex class from the shared WSDL, or which WSDL we have, how Salesforce going to do that. So now this is my WSDL file. I want to generate Apex class from this WSDL file. To do that, what I'm going to do, so I have saved my shared WSDL locally. Then I can, in the client application or in the client org, I can go to setup Apex class, and then there is a button called generate from WSDL. So let me see how I am going to do it. So this is my client application, which I open it incognito. I am going to Apex class here. Let me show you what is going to happen here. In the Apex class, when you go, like you used to create a class with click on the new button. But in the same time, you can see there is one option, generate from WSDL. So we click on generate from WSDL. Now we can choose which WSDL document. So I may have multiple integration with multiple different systems. So now which WSDL file you want to parse or you want to generate Apex from which WSDL file. We can choose the file. I click on choose file. So simply I'm going to my WSDL file which I have set. Okay, now I click on parse WSDL. Okay, now you can see some class name automatically came. If you want, you can change the name. So simply I'm giving the class name as soap lead manager so that you'll understand easily what it is. So my class name I have given soap lead manager. Then I click on generate Apex code. You can read here, depending on the size of your WSDL, multiple class may generate. Okay, depending on one class can be at most this many characters. Okay, so it's a small WSDL file. So one class getting generated. I click on generate Apex code. See, automatically class generated. One is async soap lead manager and one is soap lead manager. Two classes got generated. We'll see what are these classes. So we'll understand what are these classes and how it's get generated. Okay, so we'll understand in detail how what is this classes generated, and we'll compare with WSDL file. Based on this WSDL file, what classes, what method generated, and how we are going to do more on that. So simply to understand, if you have WSDL file, simply you can generate Apex classes in the client side by click on generate from WSDL file. Choose which WSDL you want and generate it. So now see, with there is no error, nothing come, but simply we are able to generate this WSDL file. There are sometimes when we are parsing this WSDL, we will get a lot of errors, and I'll explain what are the common errors we used to get and how you can resolve if that type of error coming up. Okay, so that I'll discuss in the end of the SOAP sessions. You can see how that happens. Okay, and there are easy tricks we can do for few common type of errors. So in the next session, we'll see to understand what classes generated from this USDL, how I can understand what this class and what I can do more on that class. So again, I'm summarizing. Whenever you want to consume any USDL or consume any sub-services, once you get USDL file, go to your Apex classes, go to generate from WSDL, select the USDL file and generate the class from that USDL file. Next session, we'll dig on that classes which are generated from the USDL file and how we can invoke web service on top of that. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next session.